Good evening, everybody. Call the meeting to order at 6:02. We're just going to do a quick sound check with our folks online to make sure everybody's okay. We get thumbs up or perhaps camera on and off. I'm not sure how you want to do that. Okay, I got Daryl hand, Heather hand. Perfect. That's two. Cindy's trying. And I'm sure Cindy.
Yep.
Wonderful. Awesome. Okay, great to see everyone.
Okay, turn the camera off. We're jealous. Come on now.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, good evening, everybody. We are, I believe, August 10th already.
Yeah.
August 10th. Yeah, I cannot believe it. I don't want to say it out loud. Hope everyone's been enjoying a nice summer. Seen some people vacationing, which is great. Envious, but also I'm very happy for everybody to be able to get out again. Let's get this rolling. I'm going to start with, so we're in at 6:02, and in the spirit of reconciliation, we would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional territories of the people of Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta, which includes the Blackfoot Confederacy member Siksika, Benoni, and Kainai First Nations, the Stoney Nakoda of Bearspaw, Chiniki, and Wesley First Nations, the Dene of Tsuut'ina First Nations, the Métis Nation, Region 3, and all those that made Treaty 7 lands their home. So I'm just pulling up my agenda here, and do we have any additions?
I think Berta mentioned an addition to closed session edition.
Okay.
Maybe 8.2 added.
8.2, perfect. Great.
What section?
17. Like 17.
No, one is, thank you.
Okay, I'll take a motion to adopt as amended. Councilor Deputy Mayor Kloiber, all those in favor to adopt as amended? Wonderful.
Heather, aye.
Yeah, thank you. That's great. We can do the Heather, or you can do the I, Heather, if you want. We've got you up on screen, so if you just put your hand up, we can just count them off. But either one works for us. Okay, if anyone had anything or had an opportunity to look at our previous minutes, if there's anything that needs to be changed, please let us know. Curtis?
7.5 resolution 22.07.13.14 offsite levy. There's no date associated.
Okay.
Also, resolution 2207, 8 points, whatever, 8.1. There's no that goes in. Under resolution 2207-13, moved by Councilor.
Yeah,
That's it. That's it. 7.5 is missing Councilor, and so is 8.1, the resolution, or second resolution at 2207, 1316 to Councilor. Okay, there's two things missing.
Thank you both.
This first one,
Okay.
for the outside left bylaw, where is it?
Martin? Okay.
I'm just pulling up.
Where-
These are, you know,
And the second was resolution 2207, 1316, moved by Councilor. Yeah. That motion 1316. Both missing a name. Committee and closed.
that was the names.
There's no time in that.
9:42. These aren't the updated.
Oh, they're not in. That's what we have. Those.
Oh, we should
We're gonna be
go.
able to- at least about one.
Should we hold those up to the meeting then? If these aren't the updated ones?
One adopt
Except
the-
for this, those are the pages that
Thanks, everybody. Good eyes. Yeah, well done, everybody. Okay, if we're comfortable with that, then I'll take a motion to adopt as amended. Okay. All those in favor to adopt as amended?
I'm sorry, who made that motion?
Wrap.
Thank you.
Councilor.
That's the first thing I got.
So the raise.
It's been a while. It's been a while. Okay, we've got everybody up on the screen. Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone up there. We see all three. Okay. Let's move right along into 7.1, location of council chambers. And fairly straightforward here. Well laid out by both administrations, I assume. with the pros and the cons in the columns, what technology is available, and a couple other notes, which is great. So much appreciated there. I'll open it up to the floor if anyone wants to chat about this. I know in the application it was put that it would be the Chambers of Black Diamond. I don't know if there's more discussion that people want to have, but here we are.
I have a really important question that's very important right now.
Sure.
We have fiber optic coming into here, I assume, right?
I would assume so because it's real Black Diamond.
Fiber,
It's
yes.
Fiber, yeah.
So would there be a reason as to why the signals are so weak currently?
In here?
Yeah.
I'm not aware that we even have booster down here.
I can't, it keeps knocking me out of the TV, Black Diamond, yes. And the other one is 3 bars, so I can't even log on. So that's something I'd like to make sure is confirmed, that there is sufficient, if there's boosters needed down here, or if there's another updating needed of the router, whatever may need to be done.
And I think even with that as well, we probably have some other things probably that either come in here or going over there.
But having said that, if I may, I do agree with the fact that it's part of the application. Why would we?
If I might, just for clarification.
Yeah.
The application suggested that the Black Diamond office would be the town office.
Well, not
There
to,
was no mention.
Oh,
of changes.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. Okay, I was lost in that. Okay, I'll start with you.
I just like to make a point, and it's nothing. So my internet speed is 350 megabytes per second. Has an upload speed of 6 milliseconds. So I mean, I'm on the same Wi-Fi. So I don't know if there's some connectivity issue with what you have.
this one's usually awesome.
I don't know.
That's really cool. And
I
that's-
have weak signal and I'm sitting right next to you.
No, actually, I've got 3 bars on.
Going in and out. Yeah, going in and out. Started with 1, I just got 3.
Okay,
I'm taking all the internet apparently.
something that we'll have to look into. Yeah.
Actually, a booster over here is something that's a possibility. For me, I know we agreed this to be the town office, I told us that 100%. Never thought of the possibility of having the council meetings over there.
Yeah.
I do like our venue better in terms of council. I like our setup better than our basement here. That being said, I think if you had council meetings over there, it would be really problematic for staff. And I think it'd be problematic for the, people which sort of get the habit of this is the town office with the committee over there for. And
Right.
in 3 years down the road, you might phase that building out, you don't know. So yeah, I think you have to do some renovations here if necessary. Perhaps might be the answer. That's my opinion.
Thank you. Councilor Bain.
Every second or third meeting, staff has to go upstairs, something. So having the town office here and then being available. Also, I understood that the intent was to eventually close the Turner Valley. And so that we can centralize everything. I don't know if it's just that one updating anywhere there. Even in the future.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Okay, a couple questions here coming up. Councilor Thompson, I see you up there. I'm going to go to Councilor Dixon to start. Then I'll go to Councilor Thompson, Councilor Robb, and then Mayor Crane. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we could request, find out how much it would cost to move the equipment from the chambers to here, just to make sure it's feasible to do that. Yeah. So we can and stuff require that. So whether we look at that.
Okay.
Or vice versa.
But, having done a lot of that, and Chad, you as well as an electrician, having these drop ceilings, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, you can do this.
Yeah. At a very low cost.
Yeah.
Councilor Thompson, floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. I think both options are pretty good. I agree, we really got to work on the internet, and I'd like to ask administration if I could, if they're happy with Bulletproof and their services. Also, the only thing that I can see Valley or Black Diamond benefits over Turner Valley somewhat, and this is a somewhat because I've never experienced the public being in the Black Diamond chambers, in the winter time wherein you need to have a closed session and the public has to leave the closed session, there is a wall that can get closed so that the public doesn't have to leave the building. Whereas in Turner Valley, public has to leave the building and they've got nowhere to go. Those are my comments.
Thank you, Councillor Thompson. That's right. Oh, it doesn't matter.
Okay, I'll just say, West End, we had the same experiences. We used to meet in 1 month in Turner Valley, 1 month in Black Diamond. We finally moved it all to Black Diamond because of staff issues and the office issues and stuff. We said, no, it just makes sense that everybody comes to Black Diamond for this office. So,
Okay, thanks.
yeah,
Valuable.
nothing to do with this one, but that's what we did because it was just one better.
Okay. Mayor Crane.
I'd like to make a motion that the committee agree that the current Black Diamond Council chambers will be council chambers for the town of Diamond.
Thank you, sir. Does it? Yes, please do, Councilor.
With the infrastructure grant, can it be used for any renovations? You need to do renovations here. I'm not.
I'm not positive, but I would suggest potentially yes. That seems like applicable. Applicable use.
This purpose is asking what is something cost for lawyer.
You get your Turner Valley, it's not base. This is still base. There are definitely pros over there.
And there's also the office space where the municipal person has that. If you do need to expand, good, renovate, remove the walls.
Pros and cons.
Ready to vote? Oh, you want to say
No,
something?
I'm just gonna say, yeah, the application we spoke to Black Diamond. Black Diamond is, in my opinion, the central hub of the community anyway. Right, one that lives in Turner Valley drives through Black Diamond to get there, one part, is 80%. So a natural point of gathering would be here. So it only makes sense, and that's why we did it in the application that's here. We're spending a few dollars fixing some upgrades. That's part of ours.
Yep.
Totally makes sense. Do I like that setup over there? Not much Turner Valley, but long run, absolutely. Okay, both over here. Yeah. But purpose of this, I agree that it needs to have a central hub here. That's a satellite office there. That would always be independent. I think it's still weird.
Anyone else like to speak to it? Are we okay to vote? Okay, all those in favor to make Black Diamond Council chambers, that would be the chambers of Diamond Valley. Okay, I have unanimous in the room, and I have unanimous all across. Thank you, everybody online. Oh, wonderful. Well said, Mayor Crane. Good stuff. Okay, let's set. Our RFT for the domain name, very self-explanatory. If you did not have a chance to read it in full today, my impression was that diamondvalley.town was the way to go. More places are starting to go with that, although it's a little bit more expensive. So if anyone wants to speak to it, great. I think it's fairly straightforward. There's no hyphen like the .ca, which could be a little bit confusing.
Yeah, I just, one question I had was whether or not diamondvalley.ag does.
Doesn't look like it's
So
consistent.
it's not on the list, that's why I'm asking.
Right. Okay.
So .ca is generally something that's.
Okay, I'll go to Verna.
I can answer that if you like, or if you want to talk to the council quality.
I'll let you go first, Verna.
So last year, after we finished the naming exercise, we called the folks that handle our domain registrations for us now, and they did a search for us and gave us mountains of lists, none of the common ones that you would want, such as .ca or .ab.ca, none of those were available.
You search for it.
Oh, that may have changed then. So we searched these a year ago and bought them right away. And there were a couple of other requests after the management team got together, but none of those were available. So I did not go beyond that. I would highly recommend, regardless of the cost of them being more, actually that we scoop a couple of other options as well, because in this lovely world, sometimes domain names can get used against you. We talked to the management team about the different types of extensions that are available, and you can get any kind of an extension. Now you can register almost anything. One of the ones we found was .sucks, which is incredibly unprofessional and one of those things that could be used to burn you. So not that I recommend we go and start buying them, but having a couple in the back pocket's always a good idea. The town of Black Diamond owns several.
Okay.
It's more.
Do we have the time? Does September yet, works?
I'd have to let Jen speak to that.
Yeah.
If we want to look at another one at the .ab.ca, do we have enough time between now and September? Would that give you enough time?
I mean, it'll hold off the official work from happening.
In terms of like the development of the website?
Not so much the website, the actual promulgation of the new network and the new email addresses, and like it's going to take them some time to set all of that up and have it so that our email addresses will all flow into the new one. They won't just stop.
Okay.
They'll just go in and become an alias. So it's a lot of work for them to do all of that.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go to Deputy Mayor Holiday first, and then I'll come back to you, gentlemen.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so just doing a little bit of digging, diamondvalley.ab.ca is actually registered to somebody that lives up by Councillor Waring's house, consultant. They registered it in 2000. .ab.ca names are no longer really in use. Foothill School Division, I know, has just been trying to get away from it. And the reason why you can't get diamondvalley.ca is because of the .ab.ca. So .ca is a higher level, a top level domain name. The .ab.ca is like a third level. And if somebody's got the third level one, they won't sell you the .ca one. But nobody's using diamondvalley.ca. And municipalities, government like us, when you have a town that's actually named Diamond Valley, there's restrictions and rules that protect those names so that other people can't buy them and, you know, ransom a town to get a normal name. So I think there's some legal things that if we wanted to go that route, that you could get diamondvalley.ca easily. At least we need to approach the resident. His name's publicly available, and his address and everything are publicly available. So I say we approach him, and if we get the .ab.ca, that should free up the .ca and solves the problem, because most every town in Alberta is .ca. So I think it's really confusing to go into anything weird that people aren't used to. So that's my opinion.
Thank you. Gentlemen, questions, comments still on the table?
If I may, I want to pick up on what something Berna mentioned. Purchasing more than one is a good idea.
Yeah.
Having one that's our own, that we use as our tagline for accessing emails and whatnot. But having more than one is a wise move, because you do get those copycats.
Yeah.
And if you've ever spent any time online, one digit on place takes you off to a different site altogether.
Yeah.
And so I would recommend that we look further into the diamondvalley.ca if we can get that freed up, but then we should probably consider the .org and the .10.
Okay, so, okay, like that.
I was gonna say I like diamondvalley.com personally. That was before all the naysayers. There's some good points for that, you know. I still like diamondvalley.town, but an abs.ca always sounds like government of Alberta to me. That's all their references are ab.ca. So, you know, I'm prepared to wait if we can wait. If we have time to wait, that's good with me. Otherwise,
Does it make any sense to just get all three right now and then work on the .ca later?
We own all three of these.
Oh, we have these still.
bought
Okay,
them
I thought
last
at
year.
the bottom it was like you had purchased.
these are in
These three
place.
we bought last year, right after we knew what the name was going to be. We
Okay,
bought
my
them.
apologies. I was confused. I thought we were looking to buy or re-up on them. I knew that we had them. I just thought we were looking to re-up.
No, we got
Okay,
them until
perfect.
2024.
2024. Okay, awesome. Councilor Bain.
We don't make a decision tonight. I don't know if it's enough time. We both have council meetings next week. We could separately pass a motion for any new domain name that comes up. I don't know if that's enough time to do any more research, or
approach the gentleman.
Hey Cindy, you know the guy?
Councillor Thompson, you have a question, comment?
Hi, just a comment. I like Diamond Valley Town myself. I mean, everything is going to change. So we may as well jump in with all feet and go for it. That's my opinion.
Thanks, Councillor Thompson. Okay, everybody, well, I mean, Deputy Mayor Holiday.
Yeah, my problem with .town is what happens if we experience a boom and all of a sudden we're a city. So it's kind of limiting. So most places they don't support .ab.ca. It's only people that had them historically, like this guy bought it in 2000. But I don't think it's impossible to get .ca as a town. So that's my preference.
And remove the hyphen, is that correct?
It would remove it, yeah, that's right. Mayor Grant.
I tend to agree with Cindy on this one in terms of we already own .ca, town and org. So let's find out about .ca. Meanwhile, how hard is it to transfer from a .town and add content to .ca? Like once it's built. So it's emails.
It's not a lot.
Emails can come into town of Black Diamond. .ab.ca as it is now until we get to where it needs to go. I don't see it as this has to be done
Well,
now.
Speaking to that though, if I may through the chair, the amalgamated town, when we're putting administrations together, you would need one central email.
Yes.
You know, that's the challenge, right? You want to make sure.
That's
That's the challenge.
And this would be all of your staff.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, just one.
So .town, .ca, .org, the present deal.
Do we table this and bring it up next week at our individual meetings and see what we can do between now and then?
That's kind of.
What are our timelines like?
Like 24 hours. We publish the agenda on Fridays. Not a lot of time.
Right.
It's just-
We could add it if we hear anything. Okay, Deputy Mayor Holiday?
Yeah. I didn't hear, that was all too muted. What, did you have a question for me?
No, your hand's up.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Okay, well, we can continue to debate, or we can get a motion on the table and we can vote on it. Like again, we have all three already. I think it'd be important for us to make a decision in the coming weeks rather than wait a month, so that we can get administration moving at least one way or the other.
I can give a motion that we direct this to each of our individual councils for further discussion, pending the outcome of Diamond Valley.ca, and have that set for our agendas for next week. Does that give you guys enough time to get it?
Well, Vernon is correct. I mean, we're a day and a half away from the council agenda.
Well, but if we put it on the agenda, but you don't have the information, we can always table it at the time.
You know,
That's what my point is. We at least get it on the radar, and if it's not ready for discussion, so be it.
we also have the option of, if I might, Kevin, if we can get diamondvalley.ca, which I think would be everyone's preference. If we move forward with it, if we can't, then we move forward with diamondvalley.com.
We have a dash in the Diamond Valley one here.
Yeah, we want to use a dash.
So you're gonna get rid of that stuff. You can get diamondvalley.ca, that's perfect.
I was gonna say the exact same as see our patients that the preference from the whole office want to be .ca. So if we can't get it, then we go to town. But let's have that as options so that both councils know, vote for one. If it's not an option, then we're taking number two.
Okay.
And we're moving forward. And then if it changes down the road, that's right.
Yeah.
Now, but we need to move things on.
Yeah, absolutely. That works. So do we need a friendly amendment to the motion?
Not entirely sure where we've landed here.
So I think we'd like to, yeah, sort of, if you
Go
want
ahead,
to
make
speak to it
the
again,
amendment, because I think what you stated is the right way to go.
because it gives both councils direction.
Move
next week.
forward with diamondvalley.ca if possible, with the second option of diamondvalley.town.
That's it. And then the council both have the one.
Yeah,
Thanks, sir.
That's good.
that work?
Yeah, that's great. Good action.
DownValley.ca, number one. Number two, Down Valley Downtown.
Yep.
Yep,
Yeah.
gotta get rid of that.
Okay, you've heard it. If anyone wants to speak to it, please. If not, I will take motion. All those in favor? Unanimous here, unanimous on the board. Awesome, well done. Okay. Okay, we are 7.3 West End Regional Sewage Service, Commission. Request for motion. This one was a bit wordy, but
Sorry.
no, that's okay. I think in a sense it had to be. I think it was just for me, Vernon, because I was trying to put everything together. So from what I understand, we're looking to just make sure that the contract continues post amalgamation. In a nutshell, or am I missing a few pieces there? The commission continues. Excuse me. Okay, Councillor Bain.
Yeah, we were concerned with losing institutional knowledge, first of all, and so we actually passed the bylaw that allow us to appoint one director at large. However, since then, we've had a chance to reconsider, and there are two sides to this. The first side is we can apply for an extension of the commission, and it's probably going to be acceptable because we have a good reason for it. That would free up administration to do a whole bunch of other things while we're busy with stuff. The second point, the extension should be until December 31st, whatever year we decide. That way it avoids the need for two audits. We just do the 1 year end audit. And although the 2024 seems like a long way away, it is. It's easier to simply say to the government, hey, we don't need this anymore, just let's solve, as opposed to, oh, we screwed up and we need more time, please. So that's why it's such a long time. And I don't know nothing about that.
Just a few additions to help you understand what's going on. First of all, this commission has to have two towns to be a commission. So of course, when we're no longer turn back on, we don't need a commission anymore. So the commission would be developed normally. So we're in the middle of a major project. We'd like to get that finished. If we, by chance, if they said, no, we can't do that, you can have an extension, it's going to be really problematic because all of a sudden finance people are taking over, are trying to juggle their two towns together and get everything else in line. Meanwhile, we bring in, dump all this on, which changes the complexion things. So it makes more sense from our point of view, thinking about towns, so it makes more sense to continue the commission until such time we hopefully get the project out of the way, get the finance stand in place and what that's going to be, and then have this thing. We had our two CEOs plus our two finance people over at our meetings, and they said it made sense. Okay, that would be easy because then when you have an amalgamation, you can worry about the finance of the two towns. So as Ted said, we are a commission, we can apply this ourselves. But based on how the minister is operated, he kind of wants to have the town say, are you sure this is what you want? So so we're coming to you to say, would you be willing to support this? So that you can send it. Okay,
Thank you very much.
And I did some research last year, and I can't even remember who it was I talked to in up in Edmonton, and they said, yeah, it's a good idea to extend it and be public.
Okay.
So we're just looking.
Thank you, gentlemen.
So we're just looking for examples. Just looking for JFAC and also our towns to say yes, we support West End's extension.
Okay.
That's time.
Okay.
I just have a bit sidebar with Councillor Bay. Would we need to request Linda Rimmel, Jeff from the Western Dixon, to move that forward on our behalf? Is that
I don't know, good process.
I'm getting a shake from Verna, but they're gonna have to look at our notes anyways.
Yes.
Would they not?
They
To
get
make
these
sure that-
minutes, and we've already had conversations, not with Linda and Jeff, they were on holidays, but they hooked us up with their subject matter experts on regional services commissions.
Okay. You guys have done your work.
And we also want to change the bylaws, because our bylaws say two from turn out, you can black diamond, and possibly one member at large. Well, you don't need to, it's down because only one counts. We've got 3 directors from the town of Diamond Valley, and then we would add 2 members at large, could add up to 2 members at large, and they would be probably people that might run. For example, if somebody didn't run, John Waring doesn't run for council once, he might, but he still has the knowledge, you can bring him back as a member at large. That's what our thinking is.
And looking at paying it per diem.
Yeah, we have, yeah, there's the original bylaw, there's no Peter per diem, this one would include a per diem for that.
Councilor
I
Williams,
need a motion, Mr. Mike.
please.
Motion number 1, that the Joint Friendship Agreement Committee agreed to support the West End Regional Sewage Services Commission proposal to extend the commission until December 31st, 2024. And we've already spoken a whole bunch on this.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Thanks, Councilor Bain, and big thanks to you, Councilor Rob and administration for doing the legwork for us. Yeah, that's awesome. And to both our CAOs, much appreciated. Definitely saves a lot of debate over here. All those in favor of the motion? Not unanimous here. And 1, 2, 3. Okay.
And I'll give you the second one.
Okay, please do. Go ahead.
The Joint Friendship Agreement Committee agreed to support the West End Regional Sewage Service Commission proposal to amend its bylaw effective January 1, 2023. We have 3 directors who are elected officials of the town of Diamond Valley, and 2 directors at large who will receive a similar per diem to elected directors, to be paid by the commission.
Thank you. All those in favor? Okay. And all those opposed? Okay, got 1 opposed. And okay.
Still 12 and 16.
Yeah.
Your percentage will be, you got 13 members, right? 6 from. 6 like that. So I'll have enough to answer. Yeah, no, I know, but you have.
Yes.
13. John Waring's not here, right? 12, I think.
Okay, so 11 and 12.
Screwed up. Very, very true.
Okay.
12.
Yeah.
10 is 10 out of 12 is still enjoyed. It's only 8%. Still get some work. Right. 11. No.
The motion is passed.
It is carried.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think we're okay with 7.3. We're gonna move on to 7.4, franchise fee alignment. Trying to get ATCO and Fortis aligned. There was a very slight variance between the 2 towns, as far as I understand. Again, big thanks to our CAOs and administration for doing the work for us to make this stuff available. I talked to Charlene about it, and felt really good about everything that was put together. So if anyone wants to speak to it, they're more than welcome to. Otherwise, I'd take a motion for it. Nothing really, there's not a whole bunch that's changing as far as I understood, just on the Black Diamond side
The tax distribution portion on Black Diamond side.
by 1%. I believe it's going from
Just the way
60.
it's calculated and the way it's collected.
Yeah.
This is a good fair alignment that I finance group met on this, and you've met as administration as well. We also meet with Fortis on the 16th. We'd like to get these moving forward because they got to go to the AUC for approval so that we have them in place for January 1st so that we don't miss revenue.
Awesome. Thank you. Mayor Crane.
I'm going to give you the motion and speak to it.
Please do.
Recommendation to council to set the rates and terms of the new franchise agreement. Recommendation by the service providers is to have new aligned where.
Do you want to start?
Thank you. Okay. So it's going to be 15 and 10, correct?
Yeah.
ATCO's 15, Fortis is 10.
Yeah.
There you go. The JFAC recommend the alignment of ATCO's franchise agreement to include the property tax clause and the ATCO municipal franchise fee rider in the amount of 15% in a term for new agreement for 10 years. Seriously?
Yeah, it's great.
10 years.
That's what they're on.
But we usually do this.
No, yeah, okay, so if I may.
Yeah.
Please, yes, yeah.
So we can adjust franchise fees annually. Our agreements are 10-year agreements, so the agreement spans that 10-year term, but you can adjust your franchise fee every year.
Right. So we changed this to 25%,
You
like
can
some
do it next year.
communities. Then that would start a 10-year.
No, your agreement stays concurrent. You can change, as part of your
Okay.
agreement, you
Like a
can
no
change
trade
your
clause.
fees annually.
Thank you. Thank you.
Switch teams.
Because I was like, whoa,
Yes,
whoa,
no,
we
no.
change this every year we want. It's
Yeah,
not to council for budget. Yeah, so, okay, so 15% in term of new agreement for 10 years. That's one motion right there. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
And to speak to it, I think this is a great compromise, and it doesn't look like any of the numbers are that big of a difference. 1,000 for ACCO and just short of 9 for Fortis. So a new municipality, this is an easy win, low hanging fruit. I'm glad to see administration's already been around, so I'm good.
Anyone else like to speak to it? Okay, all those in favor? Unanimous on the floor and unanimous on the board. I'm tracking who puts their hand up last up there on the board, by the way.
It's tiny little hands.
Someone hit number 2.
I'll take it.
Okay, please do.
That JFAC recommend the alignment of the Fortis municipal franchise fee rider in the amount of 10% and the term of the new agreement for 10 more years.
And all those in favor? We are unanimous on the floor and we're unanimous on the board. Thank you again, everybody. And again, thank you to our admins and to our CEOs. Really good work here. Okay, budget allocation.
There's a third motion.
Oh, excuse me, my apologies. Thank you. Thank you. Speak up.
I have a
No.
question.
Yes.
Which administration wants it?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
It looks like Charlene has done some work that she's done.
Throw it out, well,
See Charlene.
Just name one and we'll agree and make it work. And flip a point. So I've got a number in my head.
or
Okay,
just, oh,
All right.
name one. Oh, I-
You got
okay. I'm going to say that JFAC recommended that Turner Valley Administration work with the service providers at Code Fortis to proceed with the steps for both ATCO and Fortis. I changed my motion to Black Diamond. Just moving back to Black Diamond, proceed with the steps for both ATCO and Fortis franchise agreements as outlined in the attachment.
I think you got one.
exactly.
Black Diamond. Last time I did.
Sorry to interrupt. I actually am not voting. I have a question for admin.
Go ahead, Councillor Thompson.
So the next steps involve the building of bylaws and the advertisement is part of it. So like, I guess we could be ready for that for January 1st, 2023, correct?
Correct.
Verna or
Yes,
Sean or?
yes,
Tolerate.
yes, that's the idea. That's why we want to move it forward. Because there are bylaws to pass and AUC approval that's required as well.
Not sure where I talked.
Thank you. I just don't know how many of the counselors have gone through the process. So there is a bit of a process to go through to get this done.
Thanks, Councillor Thompson. You're welcome to leave your hand up if you're going to vote in favor of, or you're welcome to put it down otherwise, but any other questions, comments? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, okay, and all those opposed?
Sorry, mine's been freezing here and glitchy. I was in favor.
Okay, okay, so I've got one opposed. Okay, perfect. Okay, do you guys want to do your quick math again, or is everyone okay?
No.
Okay, good enough, good enough.
Nice cover pen.
Okay.
Just grip it.
Okay, that was the third and final, correct?
Correct.
We're okay with that. Okay, budget allocation for amalgamation pre-work.
Okay,
Okay,
Actually, 926,800, not 726,800. If you have these two columns,
Where- which-
where
Which
we
two
at?
columns? Which two columns?
they said here, the first two columns will need. So the two totals of the first two columns, so it's 484,400 plus 442,800, comes up to 984,800.
You've already given me.
But we're just, going with the pre column, is what I understand, and the 1 to 3.
Are you on
She's on the next, yeah, she's on the next site.
like down further where the chart is? Is that how many evaluations they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right there, right there.
That's.
No, no, that's fair. We already did that. Yep. Sorry, no, it's okay. Uh,
980.
But that's, I'm not sure if everything is, I didn't see these numbers still on, so. Urban systems, feasibility study, that's all we're doing.
Councillor Gordon?
Yeah, just for clarity, and I'll ask administration, Verna and our CAO. My understanding is Maven's already been paid and the feasibility study's already been paid, correct?
Yeah.
So that dropped up 334.
331,000.
So-
600,000.
So what are we at, where are we at with this request for 726?
So if I might,
Yeah, please do.
I'm sorry, I didn't write this RFP, so I'm gonna lean on prospering a little bit, but we're not just dealing with the two columns, because you'll notice the HR consultant was split up between first 1 to 3 months and 1 to 2 years. And we know that that'll actually happen now pre and within the first 6 months of amalgamation. So that timeline has been moved, and that's probably what's shifting these numbers. Does that make sense?
No, because it says expenses, one-time cost. Pre is 4,800.
Yes, no, I realize that. What I'm saying is the HR consultant portion, which is 300,000, is actually slated for 1 to 3 months and 1 to 2 years. And it'll come, I'm gonna use a round number here, half pre and half the first 6 months of, yeah. So those numbers have shifted a little bit, so I'm not sure that the column addition is the proper way to have done that, probably. We do know we're gonna be expending a significant amount of money in a short period of time. And based on our closed session item, I can speak to that a little bit more when we get there. We did debate what this was gonna look like, and we don't have firm figures from our department. Worksheets and spreadsheets yet. So we've got each department to itemize their tasks and put a budgetary or a required support next to each item. We don't have those back yet. So once we have those, which will probably be, I'm gonna estimate late September before they're tight, then they'll have actually a kind of a formal amalgamation budget. Not operating budget, but one-time amalgamation cost budget. Does that make sense? So right now, what we're looking for, we debated whether just to do a round 500,000 or 700,000 take, but Charlie chose to utilize the previous budget numbers, so that's where she's come up with. I can assure you that money will well be spent.
Thank you, Sierra. Deputy Mayor Holiday.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we should be approving what's going to be just spent between now and December, and then the next year's operating budget or budget process covers stuff for, starting January 1, or if that matters. It would have been nicer to have some better, more exact budget numbers, obviously, to approve this. But just wondering if we should only be approving what goes up till December 31st right now.
I got some head shakes during that deputy mayor holiday. So is that what we're doing here?
I believe that there's a combination of the two questions going on here. I think Councilor Martin is correct that there's a typo, and adding the first two columns covers till the end of, essentially till the end of December.
Of 926.
Yeah, I think it was a typo. 926, 800 is the total of the first two columns.
That was 700.
Yeah, I think that's just a typo in the motion.
But we are adjusting this budget as we go, just so you know, and of course, councils and JFAC will approve all these expenditures as we go forward.
Mhm.
So we're just looking for allowance to get us started, because we've got a number of contracts ready to be outlaid, and some of them require initial outlay to get them begun, so we don't have any money to this point.
Okay.
So we did debate, like I said, whether we look for 200,000 per council just as an FTF to get us going. Charlene chose to utilize the old budget now as a bit of a reference point, because we don't like coming to you with nothing, just please give us $400,000, but it doesn't look good and it's not really appropriate. So we've used these numbers. These numbers, as we can see, are already shifting. But they do give us a focus and a kind of an overall accounting of what we're going to potentially be looking at. It was an estimate based on last summer's estimations, right? So she's giving you this as this is what we're working from right now, and we will take this up as we go forward and we get all those harder costs. As you know, we got one RFP already in, which we'll discuss later. We got another one that's out right now. The results of those will impact obviously.
Thank you, Sue. Councilor.
I don't know if it's helping, but you add those first two columns, you get 926. David's been paid, Urban's been paid, that's 334, which leaves Curtis Telly 592,000. They're asking for 724, and we do know that we have some requests for money coming up if we're getting close. So to ask for 724 will probably get us through December. It might even be short, to be honest with you. But I think that, as Sean said, as he gets further along the way and finding out getting more precise numbers, we may have to adjust this up or down in the future. But I think we're going to need this much right now, and I'm very supportive of this motion.
Okay, put it on the table.
There you go. So,
That was a good motion.
Yes, of course, Councilor.
So in grants, you have 250 for Maven and 32 for RCP. 32.5, right? And then you show Maven again as an expense of 200,000. Is that correct?
That's where the confusion is. You're spot on.
So one is a revenue and one is an expense.
I understand that.
Yeah,
So there's $50,000.
So all they were showing was the transition stream that we'd already acquired from the province that allocated somewhere. Maven was a hard expense. That's why it was put there. We've been put in there.
And what was the urban system feasibility study?
So that was the 2017 study that was.
So it's still part of this, that is still part of this process.
Because we were using grant funds, we had to take it back to that point.
So you're showing everything that you press.
Yes.
All right, that JFAC recommends that Black Diamond and Turner Valley councils review total operation reserve amounts and at 363.4 each for a total of $726,000 to be allocated to start the organizational merger, including but not limited to the items as indicated on the estimated amalgamation saving and cost statement. So, thank you, Councilor.
Any further final questions? Yeah.
I just want to clarify again that every one of these expenses saying that, we approve these budget amounts will come back to JFAC for individual approvals? Or are we giving you guys a carte blanche to move ahead with the items that we see here? And you guys are just gonna spend the money as you see fit? I want to know.
No, I think it's an absolute valid question. Well, I can only speak from my perspective here. So we haven't put together a hard budget for this yet, nor will we have for another probably 6 weeks, I would expect. And hard might still be a bit of a loose terminology in all sincerity. So we're dealing with some unknowns. We made a lot of educated guesses and a lot of hard quotes based on 12-month-old data already. So we don't know if those numbers are gonna hold. We can already see some of them are very close, some are not so close. So a lot of these numbers are gonna have some flexibility, so I'm gonna suggest to you, as we move forward here, we're gonna develop a much tighter amalgamation cost only budget. So that we can not only track it, but you can review it and ensure that monies are spending. Do we intend to go out and spend $40,000 on something that's not on this list?
That's what I want. One more follow-up.
We're all in this together, so.
Yeah, that's right.
We're going down that lake some rollers.
Go ahead, Rick.
No, this is all in the force, right? So you've got 2 RFPs out right now, and those are the first things that are gonna cost us some money, so.
Yeah.
Okay, my next one is just when you scroll down to, estimated savings costs. It says under consultants, future consultant HR policy should be done and reviewed by an expert. I'm assuming at $125,000, we're hiring an expert. Or is this to say that we're just gonna add it in here that it still might need more work?
So those numbers are a little fluctuant.
Just on this sheet right here.
Yeah.
In the fine print, you'll
Yeah.
see them.
So you can probably get a more direct answer.
Well, and that's what, if
Well, no,
it's
we have
going
our-
somewhere else later, and that's to be
We have
discussed.
an RFP out for HR services, and change management consulting, and those are those items.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
Great,
Ready on this, I think there's no bad questions here, right?
very great. I just approved that. Perfect.
Great, thank you. Okay, we've got a motion on the table. Deputy Mayor Holiday, do you have a final comment before we vote?
Yeah, I just want to question on process. Doesn't, because JFAC can't approve spending money, does this have to come back to the next council meetings for individual votes?
Get thumbs up, head shakes, you got her.
Okay.
Thank you, great question. Okay, all those in favor? Okay. Okay, I got all on board. All those opposed? Okay. All right. We're doing well. She's doing.
So she was, I saw her stab you a little bit in the leg. I was like, okay, we'll move.
That's how they kick.
Okay. 7.6, JFAC RFP budget allocation. Oh, excuse me. I'm rereading the wrong. I'm rereading 7.5. 7.6 is correspondence. Management transition team meeting notes from July 27th. Is there anything CEO patients or anyone else that was there that would like to speak to about this?
So by Mary Kelly.
Yeah.
So I have to admit, firstly, I want to thank Charlene for actually writing these out. Because literally we met about an hour before I left for vacation.
Okay.
So I give her 4 pages of my hand notes and she had her own hand notes. So we have a number of reports. I think we had 6 to 7 department reports in at the time. Did not have a chance to coagulate those. And so we've set, and you can see at the back of this report, we've set the next 3 hard reporting days out, and we'll be trying to put together a more concise report. But for now, we wanted to at least like 3,500 councils know that our MGT group is meeting regularly. They're going to meet again on August 24th. And we're working through some issues in terms of trying to find a genericized approach for very diverse departments, move forward on a standardized process. And so far, so good. Management transition team meetings have allowed open dialogue for all department heads to express their perspectives. And we've made it abundantly clear that there's no right or wrong here. If the groups can't agree, you know your diverse opinions, and at some point, somewhere up the ladder, that decision will have to be made. If we have consensus, that makes moving forward much easier in those departments. So this is really just a notation of that particular meeting. And as we move forward, we'll get more information on the department.
Awesome. Thank you, City of Patience. I did see your hand, Councilor Rapp. Did you have a comment?
I just got a couple of trivial changes. I'm not sure where these go, but we just want to circle.
Are these typos?
Yeah, I think it's, you look at 3.4, it says 3.4, court to have email address of all step members for January 1 of 2022. I think that's maybe 1 year late. So then you go to 4.2 and it says same thing, January 2022 is wrong again, just circle. If you would, I'm not trying to be, just trying to show I did my homework. And sometimes teachers don't do homework sometimes, so it's hard.
I'm here working.
Yeah. On 4.5, I think you meant dealt, not deal. Forget where it is down below this. And then you see we go from 4.5 back to 4.2. Under community service, exact words. Under community services, it's dealt, says it's supposed to deal. And how you use that a little bit. Very last, then pretty much what all are dealt with. Then you go from 4.5 to 4.4, so you get two 4.4. So just tie stuff. It doesn't change the content. It doesn't change. I just want to make it you're gonna have. Like, well, we'll probably give all I have right. That doesn't matter. Of course, we load it back. I deal with other groups. Pastor Holidays, another grammar teacher.
Thank you, Councilor. Someone will give me a motion to accept this information. Councilor Martin. 7.6 correspondence. All those in favor to accept this information. Got unanimous on the floor and on the board. We are good there. Okay. Best way to do this, does anyone want to take a minute while we transition into closed, or do you want, right? Yeah, we'll take a 5 minute, then we'll come back and go into closed. Okay, so at 6:59, if you'd like for round. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for your diligence. It is actually 7:10, calling the meeting back to order at 7:10. Before we go into closed, we were just discussing the barbecue that we had chatted about last meeting, and if that was something that we needed to add to the closed session, or if we can leave it as is and discuss. And I'm not sure. See, patients, what would you suggest?
We amended the agenda.
I would suggest if everyone's in favor, it's probably.
Just add it to closed, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Then we can have motions out of close.
Yeah.
So that'll go back over.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's.
Okay. Do we need an amendment or motion right now then, Verna, from someone to?
Again.
Oh, excuse me, my apologies.
So again,
Okay.
I wanted to make a clarifying point though, and I'm wondering if the same goes for JFAC as it does for regular council, and that's in order to have something of any nature after the amendment or adoption of the agenda has to be unanimous. So that's a very important point now.
I heard correct.
Right. So if we want to make that adjustment, I'll make the motion that we add a separate item to our in-camera discussion. And well, that's all that needs to be said. Correct, Vernon? Okay. And it has to be unanimous.
Okay. Okay. Is that a motion then, or your section? Okay. So all those in favor to
section 20.
Okay, all those in favor to add FOIP section 21. One item. All those in favor? Unanimous on the floor, unanimous on the board. Okay, awesome, thank you.
I was looking up there.
I'll now take one to move into closed.
Yeah.
Councilor Rabb's giving me a motion to move into closed. All those in favor? I'm gonna assume we're gonna get that. There we go. Thank you, Councillor Thompson. Okay. And we'll move to the camera. And then once we're good. Okay. Hello, everybody. As we're recording, welcome back. We have, I believe, 3 motions that will be put on the table here. And I believe I'm getting one.
Here.
Yeah, okay, let's start with Rick.
Okay. That we, motion that we contact the applicable ministers and request an a meeting with emergent items at the upcoming Alberta Munis Conference in regards to amalgamation questions for discussion and clarity. And those items, of course, will be built in the next few weeks through emails and so on. But that's the request. So once we've created our list, we're going to request that minister at the Alberta Munis Conference in September.
It's the minister of municipal affairs.
And or could be traffic, transportation, and or whatever applicable minister. So MacGyver, I think you can definitely include. But if we need another minister, then we will add that minister.
Well said.
So it's to contact the applicable minister. Request meeting at the upcoming Alberta Munis Conference in regards to amalgamation issues that we want discussion and clarity on from a provincial standpoint. Vern, I think you got the essence of what I'm going for there.
I think so.
You can add a word or two if you see it better, by all means.
Sorry, you ended it off by, so pertaining to amalgamation questions for information and clarity?
For discussion and clarity, i.e. registrations is number 1 for transportation. So that's,
I like that.
driver and or if that's transportation, whoever.
Serves Alberta.
Serves Alberta. So there you go. So we're gonna make sure that serves Alberta is one of the ministers. So once we build that list, so that should work quite well.
Okay.
Okay. Excellent.
Does everybody understand the motion on the floor? Okay, all those in favor? And just wait. Okay, all those opposed? Heather was for, so
I think Heather's left her cert form.
okay, so she's not opposed.
I think I glitched. I was in favor.
Okay, unanimous. Okay, let's get the second motion, please and thank you.
I was in favor.
Thank you, Councillor Thompson. We took it like that. Appreciate it. Okay, couple more motions here. Yeah, we'll take it. Whoever has it. Councillor Dixon, okay.
Big motion that JFAC approve the proposal from Access HR level. Will be sent to each council for consideration of formal approval at August 17, 2022 meetings of council to be funded on a 50/50 basis between Black Diamond, Turner Valley, and operational reserves, and further that JFAC instructed administration and service contract development that encompasses the sum of work from RFP costing. Buying motion.
That's great. Thank you, Councillor Dixon.
And then we must give us the roads.
We'll have those other pieces in regards to contract and whatnot. Okay, wonderful. Okay, all those in favor? Unanimous on the floor, and we are unanimous on the board. Thank you, everybody. Okay, third and final, I believe, just in regards to, are we just talking about celebration? Or is that, we just need to make a motion to postpone?
Postpone. Exactly. Really, it's not that we're just gonna let them know it's postponed.
Yeah, we're
Until
just,
further notice.
and maybe that's the way that we want to go about it, right? Hey, we're just postponing it because we were unaware of things.
It just can't work at this time. So
Okay.
there you go. Don't say we're too busy.
Postponed at this time. Give you that. Thank you very much, Councillor Gordon. Okay, all those in favor to send a letter to the minister to postpone the event on September 9th. Unanimous on the floor, and we are unanimous on the board. Okay, is there any final comments before I close up?
Good teamwork today, everyone.
Okay, at 8:25, I'm going to adjourn our JFAC
One
meeting.
final comment. I was gonna say, best chair JFAC meeting in the last 5 years.